Welcome to the Roman Time Machine. This episode will explain the role of Romulus and Remus in the foundation of Rome. A quick note before we start is that Romulus and Remus are not historical figures, but they belong to the realm of myth and legend. And most of the information that we know about them comes from Livy, Plutarch, and Ovid. So once upon a time there was a king who was good and fair, and his name was Numitor. He ruled a city called Alba Longa, which is a city in the hills near the Tiber River and near the future site of Rome, but Rome didn't exist at this point. As often happens in these stories, he had a younger brother who coveted the throne, named Amulius. Amulius got together with some evil henchmen, expelled Numitor from the city, killed Numitor's sons, and forced Numitor's daughter, Rhea Silvia, to become a Vestal Virgin. A Vestal Virgin is a priestess of the goddess Vesta, who, as you can tell from their title, is not allowed to get married or have children. By honoring her, Amulius really was making sure that she wouldn't have any children who could challenge his rule. Well, he tried anyway, because the god Mars fell in love with Rhea Silvia, and she had twin babies. And these babies were Romulus and Remus. It's a little hard to hide babies, even in the Temple of Vesta, so Amulius found out about the babies and knew he had to get rid of them. But killing defenseless babies is not really cool, even in the ancient world, and he was worried about bringing the wrath of the gods down on him. So he gave his baby to some of his evil henchmen and told them to take them to the river Tiber in a basket and set them out to float out to the river. It's a little bit of a loophole because they're fine the last time you saw them, so you didn't really kill them, and it gets rid of the children. The river was flooding at the time, so the evil henchmen just put the babies as close as they could to the water and figured that was close enough for government work. The babies didn't float out. Instead, they got stranded in a little swampy area, and their crying was heard by a she-wolf who had just given birth. And the she-wolf's motherly instincts led her to the babies and fed them milk and kept them alive long enough for the babies to be found. This image of a wolf nursing twin babies is a very important image for Romans, past and present. So they were found by a shepherd who had brought his sheep to the swampy area of the river Tiber to graze, and his name was Faustulus, and he took the children to his wife Acca, and they raised the babies. Faustulus did know, or assume, that these babies were the princes of Alba Longa, because it's not every day you find twin babies in a swamp after twin babies have been left in a swamp. The Romans believed that you inherited your characteristics, so if you had good parents, you'd be a good person. If you had bad parents, you'd be a bad person. So Romulus and Remus, because they were princes and sons of a princess, were princely, even though they were raised as shepherds. They became leaders of the other shepherds. They fought brigands and wild animals and robbers. One day, Remus was fighting some brigands, but they captured him and they took him to a nearby village. The brigands were hoping to convince the people in the village that Remus was a bad guy and they had caught him and they were good guys and hopefully get a reward. But who should be living in this nearby village except Numitor, who was really their grandfather, unbeknownst to anyone. So once Numitor heard that Remus had a twin, he put two and two together and realized they were the lost princes of Alba Longa. And on learning their true lineage, the twins got together with all their shepherd friends and some people from the village, and they attacked Amulius in Alba Longa, killed him, and restored Numitor to the throne. They then decided to found their own city with their shepherd friends and some people from the village in the area where they had been found by the wolf. So they went back to the swampy area of the Tiber River, but each brother thought a different hill in the area would be best for their new city. Romulus thought the Palatine Hill would be the best spot for a city, and Remus thought the Aventine Hill. They believed that the gods could send omens through birds, so they each went to their hill and started looking. Determining what the god's will is by observing birds is called augury. Remus saw 6 birds flying overhead, and as soon as it was reported to Romulus that this had happened, Romulus saw 12 birds flying overhead. So anyone who has a sibling will know that each thought their own sign was better. Remus saw some birds first, Romulus saw more birds. This led to continued fighting, and eventually Romulus killed Remus and established a city on the Palatine Hill, which he named after himself, Rome. There's also a story that each brother decided to build a city on their own hill, and Remus was visiting Romulus's city and mocked the city walls and jumped over them, which led to fighting and Romulus killing him. So that's how Rome was founded, fratricide. So here's a map of the city of Rome, the ancient city of Rome. You can see the Palatine Hill is the large yellow area. It became the home of the wealthy elite of Rome and gave us the word palace. The Forum is in between the 2 yellow areas. It was built over the swamp, which was drained by the Romans. So that's how Rome was founded. Thank you. There are some links in the description for more information from Livy, Ovid, and Plutarch, both in English and in their original. Livy and Ovid wrote in Latin, and Plutarch wrote in Greek. Thank you.